All right, folks, good morning. It's Wednesday, June 14th. It's FOMC day. Today at 2 p.m., we're going to hear the interest rate decision, which pretty much everyone knows is going to be a pause. The real question is going to be, are they going to hike interest rates next quarter? What's the commentary going to be next month? And this market's going to move based on that commentary next month. Let me just check here. I've been having technical difficulties with my computer all morning. Okay. All right, we're all set. So, actually, we're not all set. All right, now we're all set. Okay, so, man, everything's going crazy. This is ridiculous. Let's just look at our macro list, and it's crazy, but it's not crazy. You remember yesterday when I was on with Vegas? I'm like, these charts are incredible. All these charts are incredible. Especially the one I like most still is ARKK. ARKK looks like if you pull back to a year chart or a 5-year chart, you can see it more clearly. It looks like a cup. It's a cup breakout is trying to form. Really, really bullish, and that's been driving all the risk assets. By the way, this is the this is the weekly chart. Hold on a second. I just disappeared that. There we go. That's a weekly chart, which is a better indicator for what's going to happen in the longer term with an RSI of only 60. So ARKK still has a long way to go. QQQ, I don't know where QQQ and SPY is going to top out. It certainly looks like it's trying to do a cup breakout to all-time highs, but things don't go up in a straight line. I mean, they don't, right? But they're acting like they do recently. This is insane. So you got to figure, I mean, at some point, there's got to be a correction, and today's as good of a day as any when we get the decision at 2 p.m. and the presser at 2:30. But in the meantime, the thing I'm really most intrigued about is ARKK and ARKK type stocks, and I've been talking about this for a while. So let me just show you some examples over here. In fact, when I was on the Monday night Spaces show, Twitter Spaces, I had talked about, look, the awesome charts out there like Plug and SOFI, right? I mean, those would be like the easy things to pick. Plug and SOFI here. New 52-week highs on SOFI. SOFI had an upgrade this morning, an initiation by BTIG, $14. And these are also highly shorted, so you're getting short squeezes everywhere. Look at Plug. This pattern is everywhere. Break the 50 DMA, bullish cross here on the 2050, make a move towards the 200. This pattern is everywhere. There's dozens of stocks like this, especially the more popular names that are highly shorted. They all look like this. There is some resistance at $12, though, you have to be aware of on Plug. I don't know. For me, it's hard to buy these. It's just hard. If you could do it based on the technicals, great. I do want to mention Tesla because Tesla hit my target, and I wouldn't chase Tesla here. Right? It doesn't have, it didn't just recently break the 50. It's above all the key moving averages. And a few weeks ago, when this thing was like, when it broke the 200 day or when it broke the 50, yeah, it must have been when it closed over the 50. The thing was like at 215, and I gave you guys a target of this gap fill area. You see it? You see these two candles? There was a gap fill right there. And the range on the gap fill, the high of this candle is 257.50. The low of that candle, the close of the other candle is 265. Okay. So I gave you a target of 255 to 265 on Tesla. Can you believe I didn't even play it? I have it in my IRA, but I'm like, it was just too unbelievable to me. It's like, I see the technicals, but it's just like too unbelievable. I couldn't do it, but it reached it. 255 to 265. It's right in that gap. And the risk reward is not as good here. Like, I wouldn't really chase Tesla at these levels. Okay. I wouldn't short it, but man, we reached that target we had. And by the way, Plug 12, yeah, resistance, but it could head to 1470 on Plug. But I mean, does it do it in a straight line? It doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm waiting for things to pull back. Maybe on these risk assets, I can pick them up over here and retesting the 50 DMA at like 9. Like, that's what's been on my mind. So I've missed some of this rally here the last couple of days. It's just been insane. And then you have ACHR, which I'm at this point, whatever I have left, I'm just holding for the very, very long term. There's going to be Tesla, the aviation space. Been talking about it. And I guess this is having a short squeeze, 20% short, according to TD. I don't double check the accuracy of that, though, because TD's had some anomalous data lately, but that's a 52-week high here. Oh, not quite, almost $4.98, the 52-week high. And yeah, at this point, you see this resistance over here. It's right about $5. It's around $5 right there. You have a triple top. Maybe 507, something like that. Then you have the bottom of this area right here, like 550. 5 to 550. I don't know. I wouldn't be chasing this, but if you're holding it for the long term, price doesn't really matter. All right, for the long term, and that's that. All right, then we got LAZR, which I'm hoping for a short squeeze. So when we talk about LAZR, I want to talk about Carvana first. So Carvana, this is more a poster child of, let's call it ARKK type stock with poorer fundamentals, right? Like when you talk about Plug and SOFI, let's call those ARKK type stocks with better fundamentals, and then you have like a Carvana ARKK type stock with poorer fundamentals, and there are stocks short squeezing in this category as well, including stocks like Beyond Meat, very poor fundamentals that they have to raise a lot of money. So, but $15 or so is your target on Beyond, and then you have a SOUN also, kind of falls in that category. Which this was one of my picks for the week, and it still hasn't broken out. So I hope it does. But its peer AI has been doing much better. So take a look at AI. This has had crazy short squeeze this week from like 37 to 42. New 52-week high, 45. It hit that. So hopefully SOUN will follow, but we don't know. We have to wait and see. So short squeezes everywhere. Palantir has really seemed to top out, like rejected multiple times at $16. I still think this can go to like 19 to 21 longer term, but I don't know. I think it's susceptible to pullbacks. It looks like it's getting blocked here at around $16. And that's your support line. The 20 DMA would be your support line on Palantir. All right, now let's get into some smaller stocks with catalysts. We have Lumber Liquidator that had a $5.76 buyout offer the other week. It jumped on that. That was here. That candle pulled back. Today, last night, one of the shareholders who owns over 5% in the company said the company should consider the buyout proposal from F9 Investments and pursue the sale offer at $5.75. So that's a possible additional upside there as that story continues. DRIO had some news, apparently not news, but they were in an article at MarketWatch, I believe. I think it was a MarketWatch article saying DRIO's an AI healthcare play, which is cool. All right, I'll take it. It's not really an AI stock, but in megatrends, everything becomes an AI stock, just like everything became a COVID stock. Everything became a .com stock in the .com bubble. And this is the cycle. It plays out. It's predictable. Everything is going to become a AI stock, and that'll be the catalyst to take up individual names. So yesterday, people started to talk about that over there at MarketWatch. So this little fake out over the 200 DMA, I would love to see this stock overtake that 200 DMA, and then you got the 50-week moving average nearby, $4.60 or so. It would be great to do this before the news hits of Aetna launching. So Aetna's supposed to launch July 1st. It's now June 14th. So I'm holding on to this and waiting for Aetna CVS to come out with a press release, a joint press release with DRIO saying, we are incorporating this platform from DRIO Health for our members, and it's going to be available starting July 1st. Like, that's what I'm waiting for. It better happen this time. We've been waiting about 9 months. We've been in about 9 months for that announcement, but at this point, it looks like it's going to happen. So let's hope it's not another delay on that. I don't think it is this time. All right, the APRN, still on my radar. Still got a nice position on this. A little bit of non-consequential news out this morning. A little product offering update, but I haven't changed my opinion on this. I'm looking for a $15 to $25 target on APRN. 15 to 25 minutes. I got to go to a long-term chart. It's really hard to see it too. Am I even wait? Maybe I got to go to monthly candles, man. So wow, it's really hard to see. You gotta maybe get rid of the volume, and then we can see something. Oh boy. You know what? I can't see it on this because TD messed up the chart. They didn't correct it for the reverse split. So can't see it here, but if you pull up a chart in another app or on desktop, you're going to be able to see that gap that I'm talking about, 15. Just like that gap I showed you on Tesla, there was a bottom of the gap and the top of the gap. So the range on this one is $15 to $25 in those gap areas. Just change this over here to back to weekly. So I'm just waiting for news and lots of additional catalysts that can come on APRN. They got $57 million in private assets that they're looking to monetize, either by taking, this is my inferences based on things I've read on the last several conference calls. Maybe they're going to take a loan against the $57 million, or that private asset, I believe, is a company that's trying to go public via SPAC. So if and when that is announced or closed, then they're going to have the liquidity to get a lot of money into the company. And then we're also looking at the possibility of some M&A activity. We're looking at the possibility of cancellation of their ATM that they haven't used and they don't need to use. So lots of potential huge catalysts that can cause the stock to 2 or 3x from here. So that's the story on APRN. LLAP, just continue to monitor this. I did initiate a swing trade ID on this a couple days ago, June 14th. So ITU meeting is going to be the end of June, the last week of June, and it's going to end July 5th. The decision will come out July 5th or July 6th. And that's when we'll know, it will be published. This decision will be made in the end of June, probably the first day of the meeting, which is probably, let's just see real quick here. So the first day of the meeting is going to be June 26th. So probably that decision will be made on June 26th, and people in the know will probably leak it. And that's just the way the world works. So maybe watch for clues in options activity or something on June 26th or June 27th. But then the rest of the world will find out the decision on July 5th or 6th. And this, we're talking about is it a $22.4 billion deal? 2.6, something like that. A multi-billion-dollar deal with Rivada, which is really going to cure all their ills in terms of their balance sheet and their cash flow and everything. I mean, it's going to be full speed ahead on LLAP, and you can get multi-bagger moves if the deal gets approved. So keep that on your radar. RUM has been a big disappointment. Man, it broke out, then broke down. Don't know what to tell you. Sometimes the trade doesn't work out, but I'm still in this because I'm seeing the evidence of increased traffic already. I was looking at the app rankings this morning based on the political environment, what's going on, which has helps the finances of Rumble. So we'll see if this can hold the $10 level. 1035, 1054 was the real number. I was excited that it broke 1054. You can see what happened after it broke 1054. But now maybe 10. Hopefully, if it holds 10, it can retest a breakout. We'll have to see. But that's been a disappointment. SABR, we had some news on this the last couple of days. It closed strong yesterday. Now, this one, I just want to point out, I noticed that the airline sector has been very strong. AAL and American Airlines and Delta have been very strong, as I guess people trying to look forward to no recession or look forward to the short recession that ends and travel coming back. So anyway, you can see American Airlines and Delta have been very strong. So that is gives me a little more confidence in this trade we put on yesterday on SABR. Look at Delta. All right, they serve these airlines. That's what they do with software solutions. So SABR, SABR, with additional news out yesterday in terms of the product that they're selling. Then last night, successful completion of previously announced private financing, which strengthens their balance sheet and improves their free cash flow. So stack catalyst forming for SABR. If we can break over this 50 DMA and stay over it at $3.70, then now you get into that gap that everyone else is having a party with, like Plug and everyone else. Do they have a high short position? 17%. Okay. So then maybe SABR can get into the party and make a quick move to like $4.50, where you see the top of those candles over there. So that's something I'll be looking at closely. MP, we talked about this yesterday, and this one looks like that worked out, right? One of those trades we worked out. I don't know if it was really related to the battery, the new battery, the solid state battery at Toyota Motors, but it seemed like a good excuse. And the stock was consolidating. So now it's got to break this 50-day moving average at roughly, I don't know, $23.15, something like that. If it breaks that moving average at $23.15, then you got the top of this candle contend with $23.53. And then you could see a move to $24 to $26. I think 26 will be a nice little magnet. If you can break out of this 50-day moving average, you can see these candles here, how it used to be strong resistance. And then once it broke, it just dove down. These type of signals, they become magnets, right? When you find something in the chart in the previous history that was a very strong support, and then when it failed hard, right? I don't know what to characterize that. That just basically confirmed that it was a true, very strong support. When you find a level like that, then those levels tend to become magnets when it breaks to the upside. So that's something to keep in mind on MP. Just a few little tricks I've learned over the last 25 years I've been doing this. All right, CTLP, we noted the catalyst yesterday. It did not break out, though, yesterday, but it's sitting at a breakout level at the 200-day moving average. So monitor that one for a possible break, and it's in the 52-week high area range. So this could possibly break out and have a nice move on that news yesterday. And uranium kind of disappointed yesterday. Look at that. It popped and then pulled back significantly, but I like this for the long term. I think it's good to have a nice allocation for the long term on stocks like CCJ, SMR, uranium, ETF, URNM. I think those are all good ideas for the long term. Then we got VICR and Illumina, still waiting for these to blow up. I still like them. VICR, there's that NVIDIA play. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Speaking of NVIDIA, I'm sure Vegas is going to tell us about this in a second, but NVIDIA, beautiful chart. Looks like a cup breakout. I was trying to do a cup and maybe a handle this morning. So maybe a cup and handle breakout, and I'll leave this type of analysis to Vegas. But I think if it breaks out of this 420 area, it's got to come. So VICR, which is supplying critical infrastructure, critical components or infrastructure build out at NVIDIA, if it breaks 62, then you have your target that I've been talking about for a couple weeks at $73 on VICR. And Illumina, I still like this one on the Carl Icahn ousting the CEO of Illumina. I shared an article in that VIP chat with you guys yesterday in our app, explaining just what it said and why it's really bullish. So I'm looking for this to maybe, you see these sharp candles down here? I'm looking for the exact reverse to happen, the mirror image of this to happen. I'm looking for like 2 or 3 days of really sharp green candles to the upside to take the stock back to 228. That's what I'm looking for on ILMN. And that's all I got. So I'm waiting for Vegas while we do that. I know she's going to talk about AMD. I did see news on my feed on AMD this morning. They had some sort of AI conference or some kind of conference yesterday, but the news I saw this morning, which is interesting, is that Amazon is considering, AWS considering using AMD AI chips or something like that. Now I can't see it, but it's here. It's somewhere in there. All right. AWS considering using AMD AI chips, and perfect timing because Vegas is going to tell us more about that right now.
Good morning, Ben. Good morning to the audience.
Awesome. All right, we got FOMC today, 2 p.m. So I'd like to know how you're playing that, and then give us some updates on your favorite big caps as well.
Well, you know what? I think one of my favorite big caps right now is going to be Tesla and NVIDIA. I'm really liking the power in AMD this morning following the event yesterday. Too many, a lot of upgrades to an AMD. So too many people were panicking because AMD pulled back. But, a lot of the material that was said at the event was phenomenal. So, anyways, watching also Plug Power, they're having an analyst day.
Yeah, I talked to
them. And then also, and Li Auto also talk of positive comments by Citi on the name. And Dollar General has been added to the focus list as well. Dollar General, DG. So anyhow, so regarding today,
what's your highest conviction one out of those? Is there any of those stocks you mentioned that you think is worth a buy right now at the 9:19 a.m. price?
I love Tesla. I mean, I think Tesla will be great. Okay. Yeah, I think Tesla has a lot of room, especially here. It's holding over this 258 level, and so if it stays above 255, we got room to 270. So we're talking.
Yeah, 255. I agree with the 255 support because that was the bottom. That was the gap. That was the gap fill was between 255 and 265. So it managed to get to that gap fill area that was on here from a couple years ago or something. So 255 is now support. I hear you.
Yeah, I see the U.S. dollars lows right now. So I like that the U.S. dollars are the lows. So regarding Fed Powell, I mean, we know whether he will be making a hawkish skip or a dovish pause, and focus really on also what action they might be taking at their July meeting. So ideally, what we're looking for is a pause today on the rates, and then we'll see, what kind of comments. The key thing is what kind of comments will he be making at his press conference, right? But you're in June right now. Do you need to worry about July next month? Not yet. You're dealing with the month of June. So is he raising rates right now? The answer probably no.
Right.
And maybe, you know, what will they do in July? Maybe he doesn't know what they're going to do in July. He said maybe he'll say we'll be monitoring, you know, be
Yeah.
monitoring, and then we'll have a
Yeah,
better
those
idea.
words. I think the market is going to move on his every word at 2:30. I think that the 2 p.m. probably pretty much guarantee they're not increasing rates, but 2:30, I think it would probably serve you well to listen to that conference call.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think just, you know, be patient. I think if anyone's in any trades, you know, watch your size. You know, nothing wrong to lock in the money before the event. Or, you know, if you are risk averse, you know, you can always lock in after. You know, it just depends if you like holding into events or not. So
Yeah.
just depends on your risk tolerance. So manage accordingly and be prepared for volatility. Like I'm looking forward to some fireworks in the market. So we'll see.
Wow.
We'll see if
Nice.
it
You think
happens.
are you looking forward to fireworks after, like, tomorrow and beyond, or just like before the decision this afternoon?
No, so I'm looking for the action to come after his press release,
Yeah.
and then we'll see, and I won't be surprised. Maybe there'll be some action tomorrow as well. And don't
Okay.
forget Friday's quad witching. So I'm sure there'll be, if there's any kind of action to the upside today, and leading into tomorrow, then a lot of people I'm sure will lock everything in by later today or tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good. Good luck.
Good luck, everyone. See you
Take care.
later.
All right. Bye bye.